Hey guys, welcome back to some more AFK Arena. Today we're back over on the test server and our patch is up, which means we get a new hero. And as you can see, it is the autumn times right here. So we are getting our 1500 diamonds, which is funny because kind of called it yesterday exactly what we normally get within here. So let's hop over. I want to see what this new celestial hero is all about. And there she is. So pretty interesting. It definitely looks like an autumn hero. Has a whole entire dinner kind of menu right in there, has a banner around her. So very unique design in the ability, also holding, I believe, corn right there, or maybe wheat. That's an interesting, very, very interesting look. So the Goddess of Fertility, let's run through these skills and abilities. Now remember, she is a mage, but she is a buffer. Now we talked about this a little bit before, is when it comes to the mage, they kind of play the mage not as a damage dealer, it is more of a support role within AFK Arena. So even though she's not support, technically she's a mage, she does have the ability to buff, and that's what we see with a lot of them, including, Gavis is kind of similar, Naruko, Rimuru is very similar in that manner where it's more of a support aspect than it is a mage and a damage dealer. So at the start of the battle, she waves her sheaf of grain. So it is grain, causing a grain sprout to appear on the battlefield every 10 seconds. She is invincible and cannot be targeted for the duration of the skill. All right, so that's going to be pretty interesting. Up to 3 grain sprouts can be presented on the battlefield at any time. After growing for 4 seconds, grain sprouts will ripen into crops. Crops will be harvest immediately, granting allies 100 energy, dealing damage equal to 200% of the attack rating, which I'm sure her damage is not going to be there. After the harvest, an autumn harvest zone will be created. We're going to have to see how big that is, and it will remain for 3 seconds. Enemies within the zone will have a health loss. Up to 5 autumn harvest zones can be presented at any time. And then, of course, sounds the horn, creating 3 grain sprouts on the battlefield active. So there is very, very cool. So when she ults, it's going to have the 3 grain sprouts. And I don't know if it's going to be random where they are. A level 2, a new grain sprout is created every 7 seconds. That's going to be a game changer, just cutting off that 3 seconds. If there are already 3 sprouts on the battlefield, any new sprouts will cause the most ripened sprout to ripen immediately. Very cool. So that is going to be a big energy regeneration piece that she is going to be bringing. Reaping Portent. Allies within the autumn harvest zone gain 10 points of physical pierce, while enemies within the zone suffer 20% more damage. That's going to be huge. And I'm wondering, dropping this on enemies, thinking again, kind of like the bosses, if we're getting more physical pierce, if they're taking more damage, that is going to be a big game changer and a requirement for getting her. When the target is a summon, this damage is doubled. Wow. Thinking of Baden, that is going to make a big difference with not only the original version of Baden, but the awakened version of Baden. That could be huge with the summons in here. Maybe even a rebirth of Grez, or maybe Grez is going to be the awakened hero. Only time will tell what we see. Allies within the autumn harvest zone gain 15 points of physical, 25% more damage, 20 points, 30% more damage. For every 15 points of erosion, allies gain an extra 5 points of physical pierce. There we go with the collection. It is going to be all about erosion on this hero for a maximum boost of 40 points. That is incredible. That's a lot more physical pierce and a lot more damage out of there. Wilting time causes the enemy summon with the highest attack rating to begin withering away. Again, so she's summon, buffing, anti-summon with this ability. Suffering damage equal to 15% of the maximum health every second, up to 720 until death. After death, a grain sprout will grow in its place. Okay, summons suffer 25% of the max damage. If there are no enemy summons present on the battlefield, a grain sprout is created. And if an enemy summons are present on the battlefield, then the enemy hero with the highest attack rating is targeted, suffering health loss equal to 50% of the attack rating every second and dispelling buffs. Wow. Again, this is going to be a pretty high utility hero. And then the grain gift. She waves her sheath of grain to apply blessings to all heroes with the lowest health percent and the ally that has dealt the highest damage. So doing both of them at the same time, each ally hero can only receive each blessing once. Fertility Goddess Blessing reduces the damage taken by the ally with the highest or lowest percent of health. Makes sense. Cannot exceed 40% of the Fertility Goddess Blessing, or cannot exceed 40%. The second one, The attack rating of the ally hero that is dealt the highest damage is increased by 30%. The blessings cannot be dispelled. Again, when we think of single target heroes, let's say we're running the awakened version of Athelia, or somebody who is specifically going to be only one highest damage dealer, that's going to be huge, taking another 30%. Then it goes damage reduction to 50%. The blessing also dispels most of the target limited effects, and Audrey gains 5 points of erosion, buffing herself right there. Every 10 points of erosion, the effects of Fertility Goddess Blessing are increased to 20% or a maximum of 240. Wow, that is awesome. Now, Fertility Goddess Blessing, the attack rating, is it really going to go that high? That's kind of crazy with the 60 engraving. Let's check out the signature item in here. All right, so the Horn of Plenty. Enemies within an autumn zone reduce haste by 30, then by 50. Allies gain 30 points of buffer and dissolve, 40 points of buffer and dissolve. Duration of autumn harvest zone are increased to 6 seconds. Every time a new one appears, the attack rating is increased by 8% up to a maximum increase of 80%. Wow. Yeah, that is going to buff her attack rating through the roof right there. Then, of course, the furniture. For every 10 points of haste she gains during battle, the ripen time of green sprouts is permanently reduced by 0.5 seconds. If we're thinking of haste, thinking of the twins, anyone that can buff up haste to make this go faster. When Aurelia or an allied summon takes fatal damage from enemies, they become immune to that, immediately recover 30 health, and become invincible and untargetable. This can affect every 18 seconds. She has a cheat death with her or allied summons. Again, thinking of the summoning aspect for this hero, that is going to be very, very interesting to see. Let's check it out, how she looks in combat. So there she is. So, okay, stays stationary. There is the sprout. The sprout is growing bigger. And there is the buff. So there's the alt. Yeah, look at these rings. I mean, they're covering a majority. Look at that. They're covering, I mean, here's 1, here's 2, here's 3. They're covering almost the entire battlefield. Yeah, and the alt rains the sprouts down right here. You can see them growing. Wow. That is very, very cool. Let's see her. Where's the other one back here? Who did they give us? We got Liberta. All right, so we got a few damage dealers. So I don't even know, maybe running her front line, that might actually be a pretty good thing, because again, she has that cheat death being maxed out. And thinking of Nadia, when we talk about the summons, Nadia is technically a summon. Yeah, look at that. And I'm wondering how much and how strong that these summons are going to be buffed up. Was there anyone else in there that could actually do the summoning buff? No, yeah, Nadia does. No, see, we don't have any other summoners. That kind of stinks who they put in there. But all right, guys, so that is going to do it for our new Celestial Hero. Seems like it's going to be a really, really big buffer. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.